Gucci nunca, nunca falla, yeah. Te quiero conocer. Tell me what's your name. Vengo de Colombia.
Hey guys, it's Shy and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to show you how I do my base makeup. So that is going to include primer, foundation, contour, powder, bronzer, all of that good stuff. Basically how I do the base of my face before I do the rest of my makeup tutorials. So what I do at the beginning and then like any tips and tricks I have along the way. I do have oily skin, so these are mostly going to be good products for oily or combo skin. So if you are curious on how I get from this to this, then keep on watching. Alrighty guys, so I scooted you super up close and personal, and yes, my hair is wet. I've been trying to let it air dry a lot more lately just for like the health of the hair, because I am trying to grow it back out a little bit longer. So it is air drying right now, just a heads up, but I did put it behind my ears to start. So the first things that I do, which I've already done, is I use this Bliss Pore Patrol moisturizer with my Bliss. I do all things hydrating eye gel. It depuffs underneath here. So that is the first thing I start with. This stuff is literally my holy grail. Like you can tell, she has been used super up. But it's important to get your face moisturized, but for me this works so well because I have oily skin and it doesn't add too much moisture. As random as this is, I actually tried Drunk Elephant recently and it completely flipped my skin out. Like so much acne all through here. That's kind of why I haven't been filming the last few days, because I've been really trying to get that under control. But I was using this and then some other goodies as well, which I am going to do a whole separate video on what to do when your skin is having a nervous breakdown. But let's just get into this and let me stop rambling. So the first thing I do is use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Primer. This has become like my holy grail. I swear this has kept my face so matte throughout the day. So I use about this amount, put it between my fingers, and I do put it all over my face. And I like to use like upward motions along with it. And this does have a slight tackiness to it, which is great. So really making sure that that is in there. Then I go in with my Tarte Smoothing Primer. So this is kind of like almost like a balm-like texture. So I take about that much, which isn't much, and I do use this all in my T-zone, my areas where my pores just tend to be like a little bit larger. I swear, since I've been using that Pore Patrol regularly though, my pores have like literally cut in half. It's just crazy to me, but I still like to use this to really make sure that everything is going on flawless. So all in through here, really just all underneath my nose. And then I take, and like honestly, like there's barely anything even going on there. This will last you so long. It's so good. I started using this because I am obsessed with Tati. I mean, who isn't? And she uses this, and it really is amazing. Alrighty, so that is the first step. Done with the primer. Now we are going on to foundation. So my holy grail foundation is like $4.99. You guys are gonna die. So it is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. So this is normally my shade, but if you can tell, it's a lot more yellow right now because I have been starting to go outside and tan again. It's been a lot warmer in California. So we are actually gonna try Toffee Pecan. I think this is gonna be a way better fit. Now, if you haven't watched my videos before, my face does not like to tan for whatever reason. It takes forever. So I match my foundation to my shoulders and my chest, not to my face, and I do recommend that as well for anyone else who tans. You want to match this area because you can always bring the foundation down on your neck to match. It looks really strange when someone has a really white face and a darker body, so you want to make sure that that all meshes together. As far as application process, I have oily skin, so I use brushes. This is the point where if you have dry skin, you might want to use a dampened makeup sponge. But the two brushes that I love is I have my Y6. This I started using because of Laura Lee. This is her ride or die, and it's become my ride or die. Or I also use my Morphe M39. Both of these brushes are Morphe. This little guy has been used and abused though, and desperately needs to be washed, so we're going in with the Y6. Now this foundation, I'm just going to give it a light shake, And then it has a little paddle on it, and I'm just gonna apply it all over. And like I said, this is gonna look, obviously not my skin shade up here, but it is gonna match my chest and my shoulders. So bear with me, no, I'm not crazy. And this, I like to just really start buffing it in. I just buff it in all over, and then I do go in with the second coat in other areas where I need more coverage. My skin is really uneven, so I do like to go in with about, not even full 2 coats, but like 1.5 coats. And then we are going to bring it down. And if the foundation does end up being a little bit darker than I want it to be, I can always go back in and use Desert Beige in the other spots to blend it all together. But as of right now, see how it blends all in? So I'm not crazy, you just gotta trust the process. But on a lot of the areas in through here, I am gonna use the Desert Beige because these areas, I do like them to be a little bit lighter anyway. And then I am gonna go back in with Toffee Pecan, like in the areas that I want a little bit more coverage throughout here, if that makes sense. So now that I have this on, I'm gonna do more of a like dabbing motion to blend it all in versus before I was just trying to disperse the product all over. And then just dot your life away. This is where you would be pouncing if you had your beauty blender or your beauty sponge going. This foundation though, I know that it is so cheap, but honestly, out of any of my high-end foundations, out of everything, this is just works with my skin so well. It's crazy. It stays on all day. It looks really natural. Like every time I wear this, which is almost every day, like somebody always comments on my skin and says how good it looks and asks what I'm wearing, and then they freak out when they find out it's Wet n Wild. I'm like, it's just so good. Alrighty, so once we buff that down, just to verify again, see it does blend all in. So from here, I am going to switch over to a sponge. Actually, hold on. Blend up a little bit more right there. She was looking a little rough. Little rough. Sometimes it's hard to look in this viewfinder and blend everything all together, but I mean, you can't go wrong with just blending, blending, blending. And then anytime that I do go in with my deeper foundation too, I do swirl it over my ears as well, because once again, they don't like to tan. So we are now going to be going in with our concealer, and this is when I do switch over to a sponge. So this one is actually the L'Oreal sponge, so it gets super squishy and fabulous. I love this one or the Morphe right now. They have replaced my beauty blender. They are my favorites. So I am going in with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and this is medium 30. And I put this all right under my eyes. So right in through there. I'm going to put it at the top of my nose and right here. A couple right there, a little bit right here, and some right there as well. Put a little bit more right there. Alrighty, so then from here we are going to pounce. I like to start at my chin and then just kind of pounce my way up. I always feel like concealer looks so funny until it's all blended out. Just pouncing away. And really making sure you're keeping it controlled as well. You don't want to start pouncing all over your face, because the point of putting the concealer in these areas is really to highlight, not to go too wild. So you want to pounce there, and then what I do is I do let it sit a little bit there more. I start the pouncing process on both sides and I go back in to finish, because the longer you let your concealer sit, the more coverage you get from it, and I like to be a full coverage queen most of the time, so I'll let that sit a little bit longer, and then I do pinch the tip down to go into my nose. And that's just because you really don't want your concealer like all over the place. And then going into the tip of my nose, and then we are going to go back in here. And then if your sponge ever starts to dry out on you, mine's not right now, but just for the sake of the video, I use rose water on mine. So I just give it a little bit of a spritz, and I did get this rose water from Marshall's. I've replaced it multiple times already. It is my absolute favorite. So It's just really hydrating for the skin. It smells amazing. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but I like it a lot better than just normal water. So now at this point we are here. And this is my face highlighted as well as just the base. And now we are going in with a little bit of cream contour. So this little guy, she's seen better times. I've been using this off and on for years. So this is the Cover FX Total Coverage Cream Foundation. I use the shade N80. Now this is gonna be more of a warm contour, and this is what I use to kind of bronze up my skin a little bit as well. So I go right underneath where we highlighted and right over here, and then we are gonna go in with a powder contour that is gonna be a little bit more of the shadow that we're gonna be looking for, but I do like this to really warm up my face. This is a very extra foundation routine, but I do it every day, so I've gotten pretty fast at it. And I buff it in with, honestly, this brush is from Costco. It's ancient, but it just does the best job, so I haven't replaced it. Like, boom, blended, we're good. And you just do like little buffering motions. Blends literally so easy. Voila, easy enough. And then always go back in and double check to make sure that it is blended into your hairline. Especially if you're like me and you tan and your face doesn't want to tan with you, we really want to cover that up. Okay, so next we are going to be going in with our setting powder. I like to make sure I do my cream contour first before I go in with my powder, and we are using the Patrick Star and MAC collab. This is the best powder in the entire world. I am in love with it. Now, I know that it is, I believe, still sold out right now. Don't quote me on that because I haven't had to replace mine yet. But another one that I absolutely love is the Too Faced Born This Way. So if this powder is not available, that is another one that I personally have used, loved, and not gotten flashback from, so that I can personally say that I love it. So I'm going to go in with our wet sponge and pack right under the eye, and I bring it down into my smile lines and the side of my nose. So this is going to help keep me matte throughout the day and lock my concealer in place so that we're not going to be creased all over the place. And I go right under there and just keep, I don't like to really let mine settle in. I like to just pounce it in. I have baked before, but with this foundation combo and everything, I just like to pat it all in. I just feel like I get a better use out of it. And it really just puts it into my skin and keeps me matte. And it also doesn't make me look dry and cakey either. Because I notice sometimes if I bake for too long, I start looking a little dry. And I'm just like, excuse me, I have oily skin. This should not even be possible. I'm also going to take a little bit, and this is what I'm saying, like when I'm taking a little bit, I'm really just taking a small amount. And we're going to go right, oh, get that hair out the way. Right underneath where we kind of, I guess, cream bronze, because it's not really a cream contour, cream bronze on both sides. And this is going to also help keep my foundation pretty matte throughout the day. And there we are. Now I go in with my bronzer. Well, one of two bronzers, because, yeah. Telling you, this routine's a little extra, but y'all wanted it, so here it is. So I am going in with my Too Faced Sweet Tea Bronzer. Okay, can we have a moment for her? Like, this is literally coming off because I use it so much. The thing is hit pan. I need another one desperately. So we are going to be going in with, honestly, this is an unnamed brush. It was from a set that one of my friends gave me one year, and I love it. So I just swirl this in here, and I go right over where I cream bronzed. And I pull my face down like that so that I get a really precise kind of line, and then I do like to go take this color along my jaw as well. I know some people are probably like, why is she making that face? Make it stop. I'm sorry. This is how I get my contour correct. So then we are at this point. And this one, I like it because it's bronzy, but it's also more on the cool end. I will go in with a warmer bronzer as well. But now we are going to go in with my powder contour. Again, this bad boy has seen better days. I've hit pan on 2 shades. If you are looking for a good powder contour kit, Lorac is amazing. Yes, like she's literally just, because it's a soft touch, so she's just dirty from years and years of use, but you're gonna have to deal with it. I'm also going in with, gosh, what kind of brush is this? This bad boy doesn't even have a name anymore. Okay, so it's this kind of like flat brush, but I go in with the light contour shade, and I just dip it in. I kick off the excess because Lorac is so pigmented. Like you literally just need a dab and you're done. This has lasted me for years, like longer than I want to admit on camera. But so you're also gonna go like that. And then I go right there. I also take what's left over and I go on my chin of that side. And then it gives me more of a contour. I also take this brush on my nose. And I'm just using like the side of the brush as well, like just this side right there, so it's not going in real heavy. And then I go right above, right where my nostrils hit, and then right below to kind of cut that off. And that's how I contour my nose. And then I also am going to go in with same palette. Let me find my little brush. So this is from the Morphe Rose Gold line. I forget which shape this is, but it's a little dome brush. So I'm going to go in with the yellow highlighting shade. And again, you don't need a lot. And this is just to brighten the under eye area even more. See how different that is? It really just brightens. And then I'm going to take the leftover and soften the contour lines and the tip of the nose. And this is the lightest touch possible because I want my contour lines to be there, just not excessive. And then I take it right underneath to cut that area a little bit more as well. And then from here, this is the last step. So this is where I get a little bit of my warmer contour. And this is just a crown little brush. And I go in with my Too Faced Sun Bunny. And I go in with this side of the bronzer. I'm going to go in there. And I go right above where I had the original contour, where I had the original bronzer. And I go right above it to really just give my face some warmth in that area. And then I go again right over and a little bit right in through there. And then next I am gonna go in with my blush. So this is one of my favorite palettes. This is a Tarte blush palette that my mom actually gave me, and I use this all the time. I am taking a Royal and Langnickel buffer brush. This is my favorite for blush, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. So I just tap it in, and I put it on the apples of my cheeks, and just really buff that in. Same thing with the other side. I feel like especially now that I dyed my hair black, I really need the extra color in my face to help balance it out. Oh yeah, if you guys didn't notice, I did dye my hair black. I actually tried to film that video for you guys because I did do it at home myself, and yeah, my camera toppled over and it just was a mess, so that didn't work out. But if you guys are curious for at-home hair coloring tips, let me know and I will definitely try to film that video again. And then I also go back in with my sponge and I just do little taps right in through here to just make sure we're all blended in together and a lot more smooth. Next, I will be going in with like any type of highlight. For highlighting, I have been obsessed with this ColourPop F35 little fluffer brush. It just gets right in there ever so perfect. I also use my Royal and Langnickel contour brush. It's this little fluffy guy. I am just obsessed with those two. I started really using the ColourPop one after Kathleen Lights raves about it all the time. But I am not going to be doing my highlight right now because I am going to be filming another video right after this one, so be on the lookout for that. But to set my face, I use the Wet n Wild Matte Finish. This is the best ever. and I like to go in because you really want to get your face wet so that it dries and really locks into place. This is like $5 if that, and I swear my makeup lasts all day. It has replaced my Urban Decay all-nighter. It is just the best ever, in my opinion, especially for oily skin. I barely even have to dab throughout the day. Like, my friends have even noticed a difference. Like, wow, you're not even blotting anymore. So I'm telling you, like, Wet n Wild, like, damn, this is my ride or die stuff right here. Like, I used to use like the most expensive stuff. And I mean, I used to use the YSL Blur Primer that has like the gold in it. I used to use like the Urban Decay or Huda Beauty or NARS foundations. And I'm telling you, this has changed my life. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm always balling on a budget, so anything that I can save a little bit of money here and there, I'm down with. Like, of course, I still like, you know, my high-end bougie stuff, but this stuff, it is amazing. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my base makeup routine. The only thing I would do after this point is, of course, eyebrows, eyes, highlight, and lips. But if you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much again for watching. I really appreciate all of your guys' positive comments, love, and support. I will see you guys next time.